article from the New York Post popped up on my Twitter timeline, I think, yesterday, and frankly, it's not surprising. Living in the U.S., being a U.S. citizen, being born and raised here, can definitely attest to how much of a shithole country the United States is. And case in point, U.S. ranked among worst countries to raise a family, study says. I'll link this in the description box down below. We get an F for family. In case you thought America wasn't experiencing enough turmoil of late, the United States has been named the second worst wealthy nation in which to raise a family in 2020, according to new research by travel site Asher and Lyric. The first time I looked at the data, I was in disbelief. You have to be pretty unfamiliar with the United States and the living conditions here that have been going on, for a long time to be in disbelief. The Los Angeles-based mother of two started the site with her Aussie husband, Asher Ferguson, to help people stay safe, healthy, and happy at home while traveling per the website's description. To determine the most and least family-friendly countries, the couple rated 35 OECD countries, part of the Organization for Economic Cooperation and Development Forum, according to safety, happiness, cost, health, education, and time. The U.S. clocked in at an abysmal 34th place, just ahead of last place finisher Mexico, whose murder rate jumped to the highest in nearly 2 years as drug cartels have run amok during the coronavirus lockdown. Leading the pack of overall fam-safe nations were Iceland, Norway, Sweden, and Finland. You know what they all have in common? To my understanding, very robust social safety nets. The government, by and large, has programs that help people out. That actually shows the government providing services for people, when in the United States it's basically something happens to you, you're on your own. They say fuck off. I think if we as Americans are truly honest with ourselves, we might understand why the United States ranks solidly as the second worst country to raise a family, said Benson Ferguson. Yes. Case in point, the red, white, and blue came in dead last in terms of time, very overworked society, which the RAFI gauged by maternity leave. We don't have that on a national scale, vacation days and other factors, and cost as measured by out-of-pocket health spending, cost of living, income ratio, and more. The study noted that the U.S. is the only country that doesn't require employers to offer maternity leave. Kind of messed up, right? Even worse, the average household blows 31.79% of their income on childcare compared to 4 to 10% spent by Scandinavian nations. Again, that goes to the total lack of any type of social safety net, of adequate social safety net that the U.S. provides to its citizens. Again, it's basically very, very individualistic society and mindset where, if you're falling behind, if you're going through tough times, it's fuck off, pull yourselves up by the bootstraps. We don't care about yourself. But look at that, almost 32% of their income on childcare compared to 4 to 10% by Scandinavian nations. Obviously not very family friendly if you're having to spend almost a third of your income on childcare costs. Most surprising was America's global safety rating, which was, according to the research, the second poorest after Mexico. Despite statistics showing that reported crimes have been on the decline nationwide, the U.S. homicide rate is still eclipsed only by Mexico, per the research. And America reportedly tops the list in school shootings, not surprising, with a whopping 288 incidents from 2009 to 2018. Mexico placing second at 8. I mean, look at just the disparity. They have over basically 280 more than the next country in regards to school shootings. That's messed up. And all other countries recording 0. The land of the free also came in 4th worst for human rights. I mean, again, just we incarcerate more people than anywhere in the world, and look how the police have been brutalizing protesters. Look how they brutalize communities of color, other marginalized groups, day in, day out. How Trump's federal Gestapo fascist forces are just brutalizing people on the streets of Portland, committing war crimes night after night. Here defined broadly across several categories, including protection against enslavement, the right to free speech, and the right to education. don't have tuition-free college like vast majority of those other countries do as well. Don't have universal health care either. The Fergusons attributed the United States nationwide mood dip to record income disparities, massive wealth and income disparities in the United States, and it's only continually gotten worse and worse. We live in an oligarchy where the wealthy and powerful control the levers of government, they control media, they control everything else. 20% of Americans suffer from mental health issues each year, and the suicide rate has increased by 33% by 1999 to 2017, probably corresponding to people's dwindling economic, prospects as well. I have come to the heartbreaking conclusion that America is a deeply challenged and troubled country. I came to that conclusion a while ago, but I'm glad they're there now. Benson Ferguson lamented. It doesn't, and maybe never did, line up with its own ideology. Never did, for sure. My aspiration is that something will substantially change in my children's lifetime, she said. I mean, again, it's not that difficult to figure out what to actually, make the U.S. a more hospitable place to raise a family. Paid maternity leave, more vacation, working less, livable wage, tuition-free college. So you're not, shelling out tens of thousands of dollars to try to put your kids through college if that's what they end up doing. Childcare subsidies, all these type of things. It's very like common sense. It's just, again, our government is bought and paid for by these, the capitalist owner class, and they could give a shit about what happens to everybody else because they already have their massive amount of wealth and fortune, and everybody else can fuck off. So again, not surprising that U.S. is second to last on this list. Frankly, I'd be surprised if it wasn't. That little piece, much love.